I'm Melody. Welcome to Myanmar Today Review, and this is where we visit the top stories for this week from Myanmar Today. Here are the reports from our reporters from this week. David Tanner will give us the details on Myanmar's first ever National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. Dora Suizin got the report on hotel and tourism during the Thadingyut holidays. Akajo will be giving us a look into how foreigners' stock trading set to start in November. Willison has more about how government returned 20% of confiscated land. Dora Suizin has the full story on Myanmar's Pride Festival in Yangon. Before we get to the reports, let's take a look at the featured local news from this week. The coordination meeting on the development of sugar industry and fisheries industry was held at the Ministry of Agriculture, Livestock Breeding and Irrigation in Naypyidaw on Wednesday, and the leader of the Steering Committee for Farmers' Rights, Protection and Promoting of Interests, Vice President UEHRD, delivered an address. In his address, the vice president said that the country bases on the agriculture and the major farming and production are the rice, beans, millet, and sugar. When it comes to the agricultural crops markets, there are market limitations. Based on the facts from the discussions, the meetings will be held, discussions will be conducted, and decisions will be made. Union Minister for Information Dr. Pei Myint received regional representative of United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, Ms. Min Jong Kim, in Naypyidaw on Wednesday. They discussed matters on offering media and information literacy (MIL) courses in collaboration with the Information and Public Relations departments nationwide. Deputy Minister Ula Tun and officials also attended the meeting. Information literacy courses. Let's move on to the last local news for today. A panel discussion in commemoration of World Mental Health Day was held in Yangon on Thursday. World Mental Health Day has been observed in Myanmar since 2008, and this is the 11th time of celebration. Myanmar Mental Health Society organized a panel discussion under the title Myanmar Health Promotion and Suicide Prevention. Dr. Tin U, chairman of Myanmar Mental Health Society, said suicide prevention is the main concept for this year's World Mental Health Day. They discussed the causes of suicide, the risk factors, and warning signs. Especially the expert panelists will discuss to figure out how they can help more to people who have suicidal thoughts and how they can reduce the suicidal cases. The Mental Health Society in Myanmar is also trying to educate the public, media and social influencers, as well as mental health gatekeepers. 4 panelists, including the psychiatric and social influencers, took part in the discussion. That's all with the local news. This is Myanmar Today Review, broadcasting from Myanmar International Radio. You can visit our website at miradio.com.mm. You can also listen to our radio programs live on the website. If you're on FM, make sure you catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. You can also download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices for your own convenience. And I believe it's time now for our first report. The first ever Myanmar Cybersecurity Month with the campaign theme Cyber Ready Myanmar was launched on 4th October of 2019 at Seed Space in Yangon. The launching ceremony was organized by Information Technology and Cybersecurity Department of the Ministry of Transport and Communications, Myanmar Computer Federation, Myanmar Information Security Association, and the U.S. ICT Council for Myanmar. Reporter David Tanner got the details of it.
Myanmar citizens are spending an increasing amount of time online, which makes them more vulnerable to cyber threats. We need to be proactive and teach people how to identify these threats to be safe online. The detail for today's event will be answered by Ms. Maxu T.S.Dil, who is the Executive Director of U.S. ICT Council for Myanmar.
So this is the first ever Myanmar Cybersecurity Month. It is a month that's celebrated in different countries around the world. Some countries have a week, some countries have a month. So we chose with our partners to have a whole month of cybersecurity activities to build awareness amongst citizens as well as organizations in Myanmar. Well, I think the statistic is over 80% of people have mobile phones, and so many people, the majority of people in Myanmar are online. So I think it's very important to educate people who are online how to stay safe and how to be good digital citizens.
The goals of MCM include creating a culture of cybersecurity awareness among Myanmar citizens, educating the public about how to be safe online and devices, and providing toolkits and guidelines to organizations such as government entities, businesses, and NGOs to enable them to secure their data, networks, and systems, and to educate their employees.
So probably the first step, we have several different themes, but one is just about how to protect your mobile device. So because everybody in Myanmar has a mobile or usually a smartphone, that's one of the priorities for us, is to teach Myanmar citizens how to protect themselves on their phones when they're getting on Facebook, when they're getting on other social media channels. So that's probably our number one objective. So one of our U.S. partners is called the Cyber Readiness Institute. So they have something called a starter kit, which talks about the basic things that you should know about cybersecurity and how to stay safe online. Some of the things are how to, not to click on an email, so the phishing campaign. So there's some basic things that every citizen should know when they're online, whether opening an email, clicking on a link that could be dangerous. So I think there's some basic things that we can share through our campaign.
In which level we are in for this cybersecurity sector in estimation, and as a person who is also walking this part, I have also interviewed for her perspective regarding it.
I would say even in the United States, a lot of people are not thinking about cybersecurity. You might hear all the tips and the things that you should do, but you don't necessarily implement, right? So I think that's a common problem with anybody. It's just human nature that you may not, you know that it's dangerous, or you know that there are threats, but you just may not be paying attention. So I wouldn't say that Myanmar is behind or ahead. I would just say that they share very common problems as other countries.
Regarding the businesses and SMEs, what may be the current circumstances of the cyber security and digital transformation? For this, U Tang Din, who is the Vice President of UMFCCI, will be answering in the interview.
Business, whether a small one or a big one, most of the people think that small businesses do not need any other computers, digital or online media, because the business is small, and if we go that way, it will cost a lot. But I actually think SMEs should use information technology, as IT develops so fast nowadays. Myanmar was left behind back in the early days, but now we pursue through social media by using smartphones directly.
Is cybersecurity becoming a sole purpose for the businesses to have difficulties in transforming into digital transformation? We will be discussing about this question in the interview.
Again, mobile banking and mobile money came to appear, and apparently we can make not only the task, but also the payment and withdrawal with a digital process. So there can be misuses and cheating by using this platform concerning with the financial matters. So the ASEAN also urge the SMEs to digital transformation, but what we need to consider is about cybersecurity, which became a serious matter.
Reporter David Tanner reporting from Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on Myanmar's first ever National Cybersecurity Awareness Month. One of the activities the locals do during the holidays is traveling. For this year's Thadingyut Festival, there are 5 holidays, so more people have planned to travel domestically during these holidays. The number of local tourists is expected to increase during this year's Thadingyut holidays. Reporter Thora Suizin is going to present the current situation of hotel and tourism.
Thadingyut is one of the famous and important festivals of Myanmar. The locals enjoy it a lot because they get holidays and some of them spend the holidays when traveling. For this year, there are 5 holidays for Thadingyut, so more people tend to travel a lot. Uzo Mintin, chairman of JTB Bolster, who is also the Joint Secretary General of Myanmar Tourism Federation, said.
The Thadingyut holiday, a lot of our people are traveling to compare with the past to the mainland of Myanmar, like Bagan, Mandalay, Inlay. And not only that, recently they've been traveling to the Changda, Nguezao, and some they even going to the Ngapali and Kotang as well. Actually, most of our people, when they travel, they said, we are going for a pilgrimage tour. So the one who are going to Bagan, Mandalay, Inlay, mostly they definitely go and visit some of the pagodas. But Inlay, the Pangdo Pagoda Festival is going on. So this is one of the attractions of our Myanmar people as well. As you all know, because the Pangdo Pagoda Festival is very attractive festival, so the people, Myanmar people, can go there. But for those who are going to the beach area, this is purely for the leisure. So they are going to take a rest there, enjoy the sea, sun, and holiday.
According to Uzo Mintin, the local travelers tend to arrange their trip on their own rather than buying the packages. They prefer to book the hotels and the transport tickets by themselves.
Nowadays in the world, the traveling style has been already changed. Instead of booking the packages of the travel agencies, the people book directly through the online travel agencies. So because we do not have much culture of packaging in the past, which is well developed, we do have some, but which is not well developed. That's the reason most of our people, they book directly to the hotel by calling or by booking through the online. Only some of our people book through the travel agencies. And then very unique thing is our people, together with the development of the new cars imports, a lot of people have the cars or in the relative or some. So they drive themselves. So we are expecting to see more and more cars on the Yangon, Nepido, Mandalay Highway Road, which is to be crowded like Yangon.
They
have booked for the Thadingyut holidays starting from the beginning of September. There are some rooms which are still available, but we are receiving many enquiries.
This is good news because I have called to several friends who own the hotels, who are the hoteliers, and then they are getting happy to see increasing bookings from our local travelers to their destinations, like the Bagan, Mandalay, Inlay, and Nguezao, Changda, needless to say. So this is a good thing that our people, local travelers, started to travel domestically, and then the bookings are increasing.
Because of the increasing amount of local travelers, Myanmar Tourism Federation is arranging to be the responsible tourism.
Actually, Myanmar, in our MTF, Myanmar Tourism Federation, we have the Domestic Travelers Companies Association. So through this association, we are now collaborating with all the stakeholders to help the travelers and to give the information to the travelers.
During these Thadingyut holidays, people want to explore different kinds of activities depending on the places they travel. Most of the hotel bookings are nearly full. Most of the locals are traveling domestically, and the number of local travelers is expected to increase. That's all about hotel and tourism during the winter holidays. This is Dora Swison from MI Radio.
That's the report on hotel and tourism during the Thadingyut holidays. Moving on to the third report. It is reported that the foreigners will be permitted to invest in shares on YSX starting from November. The report will give you details on the latest update on the permission for the foreign investors as well as the stock trading volume in September. Aka Jo has more.
According to recently rolled out framework and schedule FS, the foreigners will be permitted to invest in shares on Yangon Stock Exchange starting from November. The foreigners living in Myanmar will be able to start investing with the FS set to be effective from November 2019. According to FS, the foreigners will be permitted to invest up to 35% of the shares of the YSX listed companies. For more on this, Uta Tong-u, Yangon Stock Exchange Executive Senior Manager, explained.
As the first phase, the stock will be traded to the foreigners living in the country. We are not waiting for the notifications which will be published by Security Exchange Committee. In order to boost the foreign investment, foreigners are allowed to directly invest in shares of the stocks on the Yangon Stock Exchange. We recently published a framework and schedule to assist this move. We have been preparing the process since the notification allowing the foreigners to invest was out. The FS will be effective starting November and the foreigners will be able to start investing at that time.
The percentage the foreign participation each listed company allows will be managed by the YSX and respective securities houses. YSX will announce the volume of shares held by foreigners for each company, the percentage of overall shares they represent, and the foreign buy orders that have been accepted. The relevant information will be available at the end of every trading day or the following day for the previous day's trading. The foreign shareholding of the specific listed company exceeds the specified foreign buy order limit, YSX will suspend foreign buy orders for such listed company from the designated business day.
The number of foreigners living in Myanmar is still low, so I am not sure how big of an impact this will bring to the stock market. We have uploaded the information on the listed companies and research on YSX website, so it's advisable that they scrutinize the information.
YSX is currently trading the stock shares of the 5 companies, namely First Myanmar Investment Public Company Limited, Myanmar Tilwa Azizat Holdings Public Limited, Myanmar Citizens Bank Limited, First Private Bank Limited, TMH Telecom Public Company Limited. Uta Tong-u also said the trading volume has increased in September compared to the previous months.
In normal trading, about 421,000 shares were traded in September. That is 2.7 billion kyats worth of shares were traded. In block trading, about 70,000 shares worth of 535 million kyats were traded. So in total, about 491,000 shares worth of 3.283 billion kyats were traded. MTSH is still the leading listed companies in terms of the share traded.
In 1996, Myanmar Economic Bank and Taiwan Institute of Research Limited formed the Myanmar Securities Exchange Center, MSEC, with the final goal of establishing a stock exchange. In 2012, the Central Bank of Myanmar, under the Ministry of Planning and Finance, Daiwa Institute of Research Limited and Japan Exchange Group signed an MOU to develop human resources and provide technical assistance for the development of the financial and capital market in Myanmar. Yangon Stock Exchange Joint Venture Company Limited obtained permission of foreign investment from the Myanmar Investment Commission (MIC) in 2014. This is Agajo reporting for Myanmar International Radio.
That's the report on foreigner stock trading set to start in November. For new Yangon city plan, the government acquired land in Jimbadang Township, which is located in the west part of Yangon. However, the regional government released 20% of acquired land back to the original on 8th of October. Speaking at the land returning ceremony, U Pyo-min-thein, Yangon Regional Chief Minister, said that now is the time for the development of west part of Yangon. Willinson reports.
Yangon region government with the project of new development plans confiscated land in Thadingyut village in Jimindang Township, which is located on the other side of Jimindang. However, on 8th of October, the government released 20% of the confiscated land back to the original owners, as Thadingyut is located on the west part of Yangon. The government stated that for many years, the government has been working for the development of Yangon, focusing mainly downtown areas, but there has been very little development plan for other areas like Thadingyut. Another main reason for bringing new city plan to area like the La is, with the increasing number of urban population and less space for the incoming population growth, Yangon has to expand its space, and Thadingyut is one of the first choices for the government for its new city plan. Land returning ceremony was held on 8th of September at Karomi Monastery in Thadingyut village, Jimindang Township. 22% of the locals received back their temporary certificates of land ownership from the government on that day. Speaking at the ceremony, U Pyo-min-thein, Yangon Region Chief Minister, explains.
New Yangon City, it's one of the most important projects by Yangon Region government. We have overcome several difficulties and challenges while planning this project. The main reason why the regional government wants to carry out the project is, for the development of Yangon, the east part of Yangon had been mainly focused for years, whereas the west part has been ignored for new city development plan. We see the development of East Yangon, and we can proudly say that the east part of Yangon River has been rapidly developed, and there are still many challenges ahead of us to keep this development continuous. For the growth of economy, we are all working hard so that the common people will have good income sources. When we first formed the government, development plan for west part of Yangon was our first priority.
According to U Pyo-min-thein, the only development project the government carried out was for Hlaing Thaya Township. Now, Hlaing Thaya has become one of the most important industrial zones in Myanmar, which contributes a lot to the nation. Initially, Hlaing Thaya Township was planned for around 300,000 to 400,000 residents, but now there are nearly 1 million people living in Hlaing Thaya Township, which is higher than some of the state's population in Myanmar. It is also said that Hlaing Thaya city has become more successful than it was expected. Most of the people who reside in Hlaing Thaya come from regions such as Ayawari, Bago, Magui, and Rakhine State. However, some of the main issues the locals in the area face are lack of water supply, paved road, and bridges. Speaking at the ceremony, U Pyo-min-thein said the government is now working on finding water source for the West Yangon water supply, and in the near future, the local will soon have water supply. After receiving temporary certificate of land ownership, U Myo-jo said,
There are a total of 22 wards in Jimindang Township, and 4 of them are located on the other side of Hlaing River. If we compare these 4 wards with the rest of the wards in Jimindang Township, these 4 lag behind in all aspects. After learning that there is a new city plan by the government in this area, it has been a dream comes true for the locals in this area. Besides, we are also extremely happy for the 20% of the land being returned to us, and I want to express my gratitude on behalf of the locals here. All I want to request to the regional government is to meet the basic needs of the locals, such as electricity, road, and water supply.
This is Williamson reporting for MI Radio.
That's the report on government returned 20% of confiscated land. This is Myanmar Today Review, broadcasting from Myanmar International Radio. You can visit our website at miradio.com.mm. You can also listen to our radio programs live on the website. If on FM, make sure you catch us on 96.1 FM in Yangon, 96.5 in Mandalay, and 96.7 in Naypyidaw. You can also download MI Radio app on both iOS and Android devices for your own convenience. Moving on to our last report for today. Myanmar's Pride Festival, which displayed the local products of Myanmar, was run for 3 days from 4th to 6th October at the Secretariat building in Yangon. Dora Swizan has more.
Myanmar's Pride Festival, which showcases the local products of Myanmar, was held from 4th to 6th October at the Secretariat building in Yangon. Many booths displaying the traditional food, handicrafts, and other items, as well as art display, were included.
We organized this festival with the aim of enhancing the traditional and the quality of the local products. The observers can discover about our Myanmar culture, traditional handicrafts, and local products at one place. Moreover, the foreigners can learn more about our tradition. There are over 200 booths joining this festival, at which Myanmar traditional food, ethnic food, and local delicacies, and ready-made local food products, traditional fabric, organic cosmetics, crafts, and souvenirs are sold. Along with the bazaar, we also have live entertainment during 3 days of the festival from 6 to 8 p.m.
Because of the improving quality and the innovation, the local-made products are highly interested not only by the tourists but also by the local consumers. The local-made products are on high demand in the local market, not only as souvenirs but also for many other purposes. Metro Chu then, who is the founder of Chu Umbrella and Crabs, mentioned about one of the popular products, Patay Umbrella, which is popular souvenir among tourists as well as locals.
Patay umbrellas are getting popular and highly demanded by both local and international consumers. The local customers buy it as necessary for photo shooting. The foreigners buy as souvenirs, or they sometimes order a lot to give as presents at the events holding in their countries.
Another cleverly invented product which can reflect the childhood memories is the small slate board with a wooden framework.
The students of today's age are not using the small slate board anymore, but they want to maintain this tradition. The local consumers are highly interested in it, and they prefer to use it to deliver the items sold. This is a very great festival because the customers can observe the local products of Myanmar and taste the food at one place. I think such kind of festival should be held very often. We Myanmar citizens have to proudly maintain the traditional crafts and local-made products.
For the admission fee, Myanmar citizens are free and the foreigners cost 8,000 Myanmar kyats per person. Myanmar's Pride Festival was run for 3 days from 4 to 6 October from 2 to 8 p.m. at the Secretariat Building, Yangon. That's all for now. This is Dora Susan from MI Radio.
That's the report on Myanmar's Pride Festival. That's all with the news and reports on Myanmar Today Review. Catch Myanmar Today on MITV every Monday to Friday at 8:30 p.m. And make sure you tune in every Saturday on MITV at 8:30 p.m. for Myanmar Today Review. Until next time.